You want to hear another poem?
Sure.
This is by William Henry Drummond, a Canadian. When I was a young boy on the farm, that's 20 years ago, I have one friend, he lives near me, called Jean-Baptiste Trudeau. And often when we are alone, we lack for speak about the time when we come big man with mustache on our mouth. Baptiste, Baptiste is get it on his head. He's too much educate for make the habitant farmer. He better go on state. And so one summer evening, we were driving home the cow. He's told me all the whole business, just like you hear me now. What's use make foolish on the farm? There's no good chances left. And all the time you be poor man. You know that's true yourself. We never get no fun at all. Don't never go on spree unless we pass on another place and make it some money. I go on les États-Unis. I go there right away. And then maybe on 10, 12 year, I be a rich man someday. And when I make the large fortune, I come back, I suppose, with Yankee fam from off the state and money on my clothes. I told you something else, mon cher Napoleon. I get the grand majorité for go on parliament. Then build fine house on Bordeaux, near where the churches stand, more finer than the presbytere, when I am come rich man. I say, for what you speak like that? You must be gone crazy. There's plenty fella on the state more smarter than you be. Besides, she not so healthy place, and if you make l'argent, you spend it just like Yankee and not like habitant. For me, Baptiste, I told you this, I'm very satisfied. The best man don't live too long time. Some days, bagosh, he die. And suppose you got good trotter horse, a nice femme Canadian, with plenty on the house for eat. What more you want, my friend? But Baptiste, he have it all make up. I can't stop him at all. He buy the second-class ticket for go on Central Fall. And with 2, 3, sometimes more the boy, what think the same he do? Pass on the train the very next week, was left Rivière-du-Loup. Well, maybe 15 years or more since Baptiste go away. I find myself Rivière-du-Loup one cold, cold winter day. The quick express, she come, hooray! But stop the soon she can. And big swell feller jump off the car. That's boss. I can't say this word. They always wanted to put that word in, no matter what, in the old days, even if they didn't have to. That's boss, my African-American man. He's dressing on the premier class and got new suit of clothes, with long mustache that's sticking out the other side his nose. Fine gold watch chain, nice portmanteau, and long, long overcoat, with beaver hat, that's Yankee style, and a red tie on his coat. I say, hello, Baptiste, hello, comment ça va, mon vieux? He says, excuse me, my friend, I think I don't know you. I say, she's very curious then. You are Baptiste Trudeau. Was raised on just same place with me, that's 15 years ago. He say, oh yes, that's sure enough. I know you now first rate. But I forget most all my French since I go on the state. There's nothing keep your head, my friend, they must be told. My name's Baptiste Trudeau no more. Just John B. Waterhole. Hole on the water's funny name for a man was called Trudeau. My friends, they always speak like that, and I am told him so. He says Trudeau and Waterhole, she just about the same. And if you go for leave on state, you must have a Yankee name. Then we invite him come with us, Hotel de Canada, where he was treated most every time, but can't take whiskey blanc. He says that's little strong for a man just come off Central Fall. And tabac canadian, be damned, he won't smoke that at all. But fancy drink, like Collins John, the way he puts it down. Was long time since I don't see that. I think he's going to drown. And fine cigar cost 5 cents each, and Mac on Trois Rivières. L'enfant, he smoke big pile of them. For money, he don't care. I suppose myself it's 3 o'clock when we are through that night. Baptiste, his father come for him and take him home all right. The old man says Baptiste speak French when he's in place on bed and say bad word, but when he wake, forget it on his head. Well, all the winter when we have soirée, that's grand affair. Baptiste Trudeau did water hole, he be the boss man there. You bet he have big time when the spring it come encore. He's buy the premier class ticket for go on stage some more. You remember when the hard time came on les États-Unis? And plenty Canadians go back for stay their own country. Well, just about that time again, I go to Rivière-du-Loup for sold me 3 load of hay. Make little visit too. The freight train, she's just arrived, only 10-hour delay. She never carry passengers, that's what they always say. I see poor man on chart caboose. He's got him small valise. Begosh, I nearly take defeat. It is Baptiste. He know me very well this time and say, bonjour, mon vieux. I hope you know Baptiste Trudeau was educated with you. I'm just come off the state to see my family encore. I buzz myself on Central Fort. I don't go there no more. I got no money. None at all. I'm broke it up for sure. That's lucky thing, Napoleon, the brakeman, Jean Latour. He's cousin of one friend of mine called Camille Vatican. Conductor's too good Canadian. Don't ask me no ticket. I attacked Baptiste with we once more to Hotels of Canada, and he was glad for get the chance to drink some whiskey blanc. That swarmed me up, and then he eats most everything he see. I watched the whole business myself. Mon gee, he was hungry. Madame Charlotte was skip the place, get very much excited, for see the many pork and bean Baptiste put out of sight. The pain doré, potato pie, another thing be there. But when Baptiste is get him through, they go I don't know where. It don't take long for told the news. Baptiste comes off the stage. And pretty soon we have big crowd like village, she's en fête. But now Maxime Trudeau himself is coming with the priest and pass him on the room for eat, where he is see Baptiste. Then everybody feel glad for watch the embrasse. And Bambier, the old man speak. Baptiste, you're here for stay. Baptiste, he's cry like big baby. That's just resté ici. And if I ever see the state, I'm sure I don't care, me. Correct, Maxime, say Rita. I place you on the farm for help your poor old father. What do you do, mon cher? Please come with me on Magasin. I fix you up, Bowie, and then you're ready for go home and see the family. Well, when the old man and Baptiste come off the Magasin, Baptiste is lost his Yankee clothes. He's dressed like Canadien, with butter savage, centre flèche, and coat with capuchon, and speak français au naturel, Sam Zaviton. I see Baptiste the other day. He's work his father's place. I think myself, he's satisfied. I see that on his face. He say, I got no use for state, mon cher Napoleon. Quebec, she is good enough for me. Hooray, canaillon!
Seriously, though.
That's
At what point when you thought maybe they'd want to hear this, did you not look ahead at how long it was?
I never read that.
What's it about?
God.
No, what's it about?
But
It's about
Maybe
Baptiste.
it goes to America.
if only Norm would have read it in English, maybe we'd understand it.
Why did the guy turn his back on his culture?
To make the big money in America.
Yeah, but that.
Are you going to interview me?
Yeah. Norm, what are we doing right now?
Taking a shave.
When was the last time you shaved?
Yesterday? I like to shave the throat first. One time I cut my Adam's apple, and it was a hell of a mess. There was apple juice everywhere. You like that?
That's good. How did you meet Josh?
Josh was an intern on Saturday Night Live, and then he started writing jokes for a Weekend Update, and that's how I got to know him. And then he moved out here about the same amount of time I did.
And what did you?
Because I knew his lovely wife Tara before him.
He got lucky, huh?
Yeah. You got very lucky. This is hard, you know, because you got to concentrate on shaving. You don't want to cut yourself. This guy's a regular Tom Snyder.
So what do you think? Could you write me into a comedy skit?
You need a comedy skit?
I am the comedy skit. You got a part for me?
Well, we're in the midst of a writer's strike here in Hollyweird, as you call it.
And how do you feel about all that?
I think writers should write. If they don't write, they're not writers. Right?
Who's right and who's wrong?
So if you are what you do, at the end of the road, you know, the facts of your life are the facts of your life. So if you don't write, you're not a writer. And then how can you go on strike?
Exactly. Well, who's going to make the money off of this deal anyway?
Well, the way I understand it is this. Right now, it's unfair because all the money is going to the VCR people that make VCRs. And so the writers, we want the money for all those VCRs and all the, the cassettes that you put into the VHS machines. And I mean, the writers write the material. Why should the president of the VHS company make all the money?
Seriously.
That's the way I see it.
Why are the writers always swept under the rug when it's about the directors and the actors and the producer?
Yeah. It all starts with the writer. And I'm telling you, man, there's some great writers. Not comedy writers, but drama writers. Mm-hmm. Those guys are amazing.
So what's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie?
Yeah.
Citizen Kane.
They don't make them like that anymore, huh?
I like Tombstone a great deal. That's a more recent movie.
Are you going to leave a stick stash on there?
You know, I love Westerns.
Yeah.
So I was trying for the longest time to write a comedy Western.
Uh-huh.
And I thought Mel Brooks did Blazing Saddles, was a send-up of the conventional Western. I wanted to do a send-up of the modern Western, you know, the anti-hero, like, the Searchers and movies like that are just, you don't know who the good guy or bad guy is, like Unforgiven or something. And just make it really brutal and bloody.
Listen,
But they never took to that.
tell me, how did you first crack into the business, and when did you, what did you do to get your first gig, and what was it?
Well, I just did stand-up. And the odd thing with stand-up is, I just wanted to be a stand-up for my whole life. But something happened, like I think because Cosby had a very popular and funny sitcom, that they started thinking stand-ups would make good actors. But it's actually the opposite is true, because as a stand-up, you're just all by yourself. You're not talking to anyone else, and the audience is sort of like the enemy. It's sort of like you have to control them and make them laugh and so forth. But it's just you, not relating to anyone, just talking to yourself basically. And so it's the worst training ground for an actor.
So what do you think your comedy style is? Is it cynical, or what really gets your creative juices flowing?
Well, lately I've turned to the highly introspective, like personal. I base my comedy on like my heroes have not been comedians, but rather like writers and one singer, Bob Dylan, and Hemingway and Gertrude Stein, and people that just I learned a lot from those people, because they're highly they never use a big word. They repeat things that are important. So right now my comedy is just about myself. It's not, I don't comment on anything. It's like Dylan at the 65 Newport Festival.
His press conference?
No, when he went electric.
Oh.
He's got a broad playing now in a movie. Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah. Hillary, no, what's her name? It's like Hillary Duff or one of those. No, Kate Beckinsdale.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't know how Bob feels about that.
Bob's pretty down to earth, though. I think, he still loves the music. He's jamming.
I went and saw Bob Dylan in concert,
Yeah.
and he just has complete contempt for the audience.
Yeah.
And you can't even understand the fucking songs. But Ringo Starr was in the audience. So Dylan recognizes him halfway through the concert.
Yeah.
He just stops the song and he goes, Ringo! Ringo! He just keeps saying Ringo. He said it about 9 times, right? So finally a spotlight goes on Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
And he's all embarrassed and everything. He's like, Ringo, what's up? Like he's not even on stage, He's just talking to Ringo Starr. So, but everybody thinks it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyways, finally Dylan snaps at him and goes, I gotta go back and do this thing. He called it a thing. He goes, I gotta go back and do this thing. He goes, any song you want to hear? And then Ringo Starr goes, Maggie's Farm. And then he goes, we already did that one. And everyone was fucking laugh because you literally can't recognize his songs.
Right.
But I understand what he's doing, because it's like, let's say you told a story to someone, and then the guy said, hey, tell it to this other guy. Then you're going to change the story, because you're not going to say the exact same words. You feel like a jackass. So that's what Dylan seems to do in his art.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I'll do the song, but I'll change it all around, mess it up. See what it sounds like.
Is that the same thing with comedy?
Well, yeah, what I like to do is I never memorize anything. So I have I know what the joke is, and all I know is the punchline. And then up to there, I just meander around till I get to the punchline. As long as you know where you're going, you're free to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because you know there's an ending.
How do you not laugh sometimes when you're standing next to, Chris Farley or Tina Fey?
With Chris Farley, first let me, you gotta laugh with Chris Farley. You can't not laugh. I mean, because he was the funniest guy ever. I remember he used to be obsessed with Belushi, and I always go, no, you're way funnier than Belushi,
Yeah.
Shouldn't try to be like somebody less funny than you. But he was a guy, he could make smart people laugh, dumb people laugh, old people laugh, young people laugh, smart, dumb, people who liked him, people who didn't like him. I never saw him not make someone laugh. I never saw it fail. And also, he would do it 24 hours a day.
What about Dennis Miller? What's he like off stage?
Oh, Dennis has been very kind to me. He gave me my first job writing for the syndicated talk show when I was a stand-up. And also with Weekend Update, he changed Weekend Update completely to where it had a stand-up's sensibility, which no one has done since, except me. I mean, the other ones always do it like they pretend to be newscasters, And so if Dennis hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't have been able to do Update.
And what do you think about the cast now, right before the strike?
The cast now?
Yeah.
Well, I've watched Saturday Night Live like every week since it started, and so hold on, man. Let me get a cigarette.
Yeah.
Well, we're done shaving.
We can go. Yeah.
Oh, this is called The Rape of Glencoe by Jim McLean, and it's about my house of MacDonald, the house of MacDonald, which is where this tartan comes from. Oh, cruel was the snow that sweeps Glencoe and covers the grave O'Donnell. Oh, cruel was the foe that raped Glencoe and murdered the house of MacDonald. They came in a blizzard, we offered them heat, a roof for their heads, dry shoes for their feet. We wined them and dined them, they ate of our meat, and slept in the house of MacDonald. They came from Fort Williams with murder in mind. The Campbells had orders King Williams had signed. Put it all to the sword, these words underlined, and leave none alive called MacDonald. They came in the night when the men were asleep. This band of Argyles through snow soft and deep, like murdering foxes among helpless sheep, they slaughtered the house of MacDonald. Some died in their beds at the hand of the foe. Some fled in the night and were lost in the snow. Some lived to accuse him who struck the first blow, but gone was the house of MacDonald. It's very sad.
Who did it to them?
The Campbells. My dad would not eat Campbell's soup.
This is Officer David Williams with the Beverly Hills Police Department, rank of police officer, and I want to give a shout out to Nantucket, Channel 17. How's it going?
Good, man.
You live in town?
Excellent. Yeah, I live right here.
Do you? Okay. All right. We've been up here a couple of times. Not.
Oh, yeah.
obviously.
No, I know. No, I saw one time.
Yeah.
This thing happened.
Yeah. I forget what it was. They're doing a documentary on the police department.
Oh, cool.
You know, today was kind of like a day they just kind of come out and ride around and see what we encounter day to day.
Oh,
So
excellent.
look who we run into.
I know.
How long you
It's like
been
Joe
in town?
Friday.
Exactly.
You're like Joe Friday.
Yeah, I have my own paparazzi. It's better when you have your own, you know? Yeah. How long you been in town?
I've lived here for about 6 years.
Really?
New York.
Yeah.
Like it?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
The Central Time.
Right. So what are
Right.
you doing, man? You guys shooting something or what?
New York, my buddy's from Nantucket, Massachusetts, and he's filming a documentary.
Yeah.
He drove across country in
This
this
is the guy to film, man.
3 tons of all-American beef.
What's the craziest thing you've seen in all your years out here on the street?
In Beverly Hills only or in law enforcement period?
In the whole LA area.
Define crazy.
Well, like, naked guy running across the street, or funny stuff that not bad,
Well, in
violent.
Beverly Hills alone, I've had 3 butt naked men. and here, I don't think that's as unusual as it is that I'm always the first car on scene. That I have a little bit of a problem with. As a matter of fact, this area here, we call this beat 9. And so it's a boundary within our city, and you get assigned to different beats when you come out, right? So I was assigned beat 9. The naked man call, jumping in and out of cars, came out of beat 7, which is clear over by the Mercedes-Benz dealership. We're talking Beverly Boulevard and Santa Monica Boulevard, right? How come I was the first car to get there and I was coming from over here? I get there and this guy is stark naked running down Santa Monica Boulevard in the street. So I'm looking at this and we have cameras in our cars. And so all you can hear, I would assume you hear other things most of the time, but the mic was on. And because I had turned on my lights on a couple of occasions, the mic's going and the film's going. And then all you hear when you watch the video is a car cut me off, slowly, but he cut me off. And you hear me say, "Get out of the way!" really loud. And I was sitting there thinking, when I thought back, somebody said, "Yeah, we saw the video from your car." I'm like, oh God, what was I saying? Well, anyway, I pull up and I'm looking around and I see no other police cars. But there's this naked man there and myself. So I pull my taser gun out and I tell him to get on the ground. So he gets on the ground. Once I have him on the ground, and basically the situation's starting to die down, now all of a sudden all the other cars come out. But instead of them being real concerned about him, they're kind of looking like, "Hey, you're the first one here, huh?" So great. Because we have the guy on the ground, he decided that he was going to get up and he wanted to fight.
Oh no.
Shot him with the taser. The taser has a blast of 5 seconds every time you pull the trigger. And basically it just immobilizes you. You're like a
Newborn calf.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking that. So he falls over on the first shot. He got up 4 more times. We had to tase him 4 more times. So a total of 25 seconds. He took 5 rides.
Oh.
In 25 seconds. And the last one he finally gave, under the influence, but that cleared him right up. And he actually screamed out and he gave up. And we have it on video. And my video, of course, is sitting right there. You see this guy hitting the ground time after time.
With all his business hanging out?
All his business hanging out. The other naked guy was actually right down the street. That was about a month ago. And he was just walking down the street and people are calling in saying, "Hey, there's a naked guy," and I'm right around the corner. So when I drive up, there's people pointing as if I'm not going to know what a naked guy looks like, right? I mean, I don't recall getting on the radio and saying, "Well, what is he wearing?" Okay, a naked guy, correct me if I'm wrong, usually isn't wearing anything. Okay, so people are pointing and I pull up, but the first thing I'm thinking is, Jesus Christ, what is it with the naked guy? So I get out of the car, and it's almost like you would have thought him and I had done this before. Because I got in the car, "Okay, come on, get on the ground. Okay, my taser's out, get on the ground, come on." So he gets down on the ground, and I stand there, and it's like, you don't have to search a naked guy. I don't know if you know that. You don't have to search a naked guy. So I just kind of stood there, had him lay face down. And he's pretty hairy, and I'm just kind of standing there. And just for that moment, I kind of looked at it and just said, is this what my life has come to? Is this my defining moment in life? Me standing over a naked guy on the pavement?
They don't tell you about that in the academy.
With people going, "There he is." Like, I'm not going to know, So, we covered him up, got him up, and took him where he needed to go. Never found his clothes.
Yeah.
Never found any of that stuff. Why are you naked? Because I knew I would get some attention if I was naked, because I don't know where I park my car at. Oh yeah, you know, when I lose my car in the Target parking lot, I'll always get
Perfectly
naked, man.
logical.
Yeah, and it works out. So you know what? I would say that those two are probably the most bizarre things I've had to deal with. So, you know.
I'd say that qualifies.
Yeah.
Officer Williams was a quality, classy guy with a touch on the taser, and his mind knew what the criminal was going to do before the criminal did. I couldn't care less about Officer Williams. I just want to kiss you.
Well, the police have always been good to me.